interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, All right, hello. Good evening, guys. Let's go. We're going to have tonight a discussion about the fact that 532,000 people here in the United States are going to be losing status in 30 days. Come on in, type in freedom now. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York, working with clients nationwide at McBean Law. I was live earlier today for my Monday live Q&A at 1 o'clock today, but tonight but earlier I wasn't able to cover this very important topic, and I'm ready to go. I'm now prepared for this, so I'm going to break down for you guys what's going on. 532,000 people will be losing their status. We're going to talk about the end date, voluntary departure for these individuals, the enforcement actions that DHS, ICE will be taking against certain individuals, expedited removal, and the work permit that's attached to this. So if you know anyone who might be interested or impacted by this topic, share this live session with them right away. Type in freedom now. I see some familiar faces. Thank you guys for being with me tonight. So what I'm referring to, friends, is the CHNV Parole program that you heard about in the news this weekend that will be ending, okay, for Cubans, Nicaraguans. Let's take this in order. Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, okay? This is a Biden parole program that he had put in place, okay? I'm not accepting anyone tonight on this show. I just want to get through the information and share important details about how this is going to work and how it's going to impact a whole lot of people who have this parole. So this CHNV parole program will be ending effective tomorrow. Tomorrow, the government will be publishing a federal registered notice, and I'm putting it on the screen here on McBean Immigration TV and Facebook. This is the notice that will go out tomorrow in the Federal Register on March 25th, 2025, to terminate this parole program for inadmissible non-citizens from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela and their immediate family members who entered with them on this program. For those of you who might not be familiar with this program, the Biden administration put it in place in 2022 and 2023 to allow individuals from these nations to parole into the United States through a lawful process. And this is one of those programs that I've been telling you about. I started talking to you about this back in November when President Trump won the election, to explain to you that they are going to be prioritizing deportation for, at that time I had 3 categories of individuals: those with a those with a criminal record, those who have a removal order, and thirdly, those who entered the United States over the past 2 years under these various Biden parole programs. And here we are tonight with this CHNV parole program is going to be terminated tomorrow, and it will go into this termination will be effective 30 days after that. So the termination date is April 24th. Okay, April 24th, 2025 is the official termination date. And what this means is that DHS will be canceling all pending applications, the form I-134A. Those applications will be terminated, will be canceled, and they're going to revoke any approved applications, any approved I-130A for applicants who have not yet traveled to the United States. And this applies to individuals who are still waiting entry approval under the program as well. So I just want to be clear that the application that they will be canceling is the I-134A application, not the applications that are currently on file, to my knowledge, based on the summary that I'm reading here from the American Immigration Lawyers Association, not the applications that are on file for those of you who have already applied for adjustment of status or asylum and you're waiting a decision in your case. The I-134A is what will be canceled, the pending applications. Now, voluntary departure is a very big part of this. As you know, the government has really been pushing the voluntary departure of individuals, self-deport. And let's see, with respect to the voluntary departure, the government is saying that individuals must depart the United States before the parole termination date, or April 24th, which before their parole termination date, or April 24th, 2025, whichever is the earlier date. So they're expecting individuals to leave the United States, and after leaving, and you find yourself at a land border port of entry, you should report your departure. Once you're outside of the United States, actually, you should report this via the CBP Home mobile app. You guys know that they have changed the CBP One app to the CBP Home app to report the fact that you're now out of the United States. And also, those non-citizens who have since, if you've obtained a lawful status already, if you've since obtained a lawful status, or you have some basis that will permit you to stay here in the United States, you're not required to depart from the United States according to this notice. I always get it. Guys, it's late. But even at 1 o'clock, I'm like, where am I to point? You guys see the notice, okay? You see the notice. According to this notice that's on the screen here in front of those of you on McBean Immigration TV and Facebook. So if you have a lawful status, or you have a basis to stay here in the United States, you're not required to leave the United States according to this Federal Register notice. Now let's talk about the enforcement actions that are expected here, okay? Guys, come on in, type in freedom now. We're talking about the ending of the CHNV parole process for individuals who entered the United States through that lawful parole program. 532,000 people are impacted by this because this is going to be terminated. Well, tomorrow the announcement is going out that it's going to be terminated in 30 days. Folks will lose their status. Now, this is where it gets really it gets really challenging to talk about, okay? Enforcement activities. Here's what the government is planning on doing based on what they've shared with us in the notice. This is for educational purposes only, all right? Not legal advice. This is all coming from the federal notice. So the government should be thanking me for informing the people tonight about what this notice is saying. After the termination of this parole program, DHS they generally intend to promptly remove or deport individuals here in the United States under this CHNV parole program, those who no longer have a basis to remain here in the United States. They're looking to do expedited removal or fast-track deportations, as we've been discussing. The notice states that DHS has the jurisdiction. This is where you've really got to listen up carefully. You really have to listen to what I'm about to say now. The notice says that DHS still has the discretion to take any enforcement activity or action against any individual at any time, including during this 30-day wait-in period after tomorrow's announcement or publication. So what they're saying is, yes, we're going to give you 30 days by which to get your affairs in order and make your plans to self-deport or leave the United States through voluntary departure. But however, we want you to still know that during this 30-day time period, we still have the discretion to deport you, to take action against you. According to this notice, DHS intends to prioritize removal of individuals who have not yet properly filed an immigration request application, such as for adjustment of status, asylum, temporary protected status, TPS, the T visa or the U visa. If you have not filed an application that would give you long-term lawful status in the United States, like one of those, by the time this goes into effect, well, tomorrow, by the publication date, then they're going to prioritize you for deportation. And you must have properly filed such application with the right filing fee and with or a fee waiver. So for instance, if you improperly filed because the filing fee was incorrect and you filed before tomorrow, well, and then your case is rejected in another 2 or 3 weeks, it's rejected, then that is not a properly filed application that would stop them from trying to do expedited fast-track deportation of you. Also, they say here that they're going to prioritize for deportation individuals who are not the beneficiary of a properly filed immigration benefit, for example, the I-130 petition, a fiancé petition, or a petition from based on your employee status, or an employer's petition, I should say. So if you do not have something properly filed by tomorrow, the notice states, then they're going to prioritize you for deportation. Let's talk a little bit about expedited removal a little bit more. Expedited removal proceedings may be started for individuals who have been here in the United States for less than 2 years. As we've discussed in the past, this isn't surprising. Also, expedited removal is available only when, expedited removal is available only when a non-citizen or an individual has not continuously been present in the United States for at least the 2 years preceding the date of the inadmissibility determination. Guys, I have a video out there that explains what this means on the expedited removal side, okay? Go on YouTube, McBean Immigration TV, and look for the thumbnail that says something like fast-track deportations. That's where I break down these criteria about expedited removal, okay? Now, let's talk about the work permit, okay? Let's talk about the work permit. Which is the C11 category for individuals who entered under this CHNV Parole program. Parole-based employment authorization issued for these individuals will automatically terminate upon, number one, the expiration date that's on your work permit, or DHS, if DHS starts a removal proceeding against you. Okay, if they start removal proceedings, then your work permit is no more. Or if you leave, if you've been granted voluntary departure, I guess that's what that means. Page 2, which I had skimmed earlier. So now let me figure out what I'd like to share with you from page 2. Okay, let's see, let's go down to the fact that there are other parole programs that will also be impacted down the road. Similar terminations are expected to be coming in the next coming weeks for parole programs that are also considered as categorical parole through the Biden administration, such as United for Ukraine, U4U, family reunification parole programs for nationals of Colombians, Cubans, Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Haitians, Hondurans, and folks from Ecuador. Operation Allies Welcome, Central American Minors Program, and parole granted through safety mobility offices. Okay, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you from this summary that we were provided with. So guys, this is serious. Okay, this is serious, and I'm sorry that I have to explain all of this to you. You heard about the news over the weekend, and so you were probably wondering what to expect, how this is going to work. The notice, Federal Register notice, is going to go out tomorrow, and I've summarized for you what I think you really need to know about what the notice says. And really, the big takeaway from this should be April 24th, 2025 as the termination date of your status if you are one of the 532,000 with your immediate relative families who also have this status. And that the government expects you to leave, to self-deport, and notify them after you have left, that you have left. And then also the fact that they can still take action against you during these 30 days while you're trying to get your affairs in order. If you have something already in process, they had paused, guys. You know that they had paused all of the applications, like the work permit, I-130, I-45. They paused all of that. I have not heard yet about them moving those applications forward. I know that they were paused, or they still might very well be paused. If they are moving those forward, I'll have to give you guys a separate update about that. But if you have something in process like those, then you're in good shape, right? If you had properly filed an application for TPS, adjustment of status, an I-130 petition, a U visa petition application, T visa application, if you had filed one of those, then you're in good shape for now, particularly if it's properly filed, and hopefully you'll be able to get your green card or lawful status through one of those filings, all right? So that's what's going on. If you'd like to, obviously you could watch the replay on McBean Immigration TV, and I'll be reposting this to all of you guys as well so that you could hear the summary from earlier. I had a lot of questions today about travel. Can green card holders travel internationally and such? I covered a lot of those questions earlier today. So watch today's live session, green card holders. I also have a video out there that was published yesterday on your rights and what you should know before you travel. Yes, green card holders can travel. Should you be traveling right now at this time? It's at your own risk, obviously, but green card holders still have the ability, obviously, to travel. But there are stories that we're hearing, you guys are hearing. Immigration attorneys, we hear these stories. This is not our first rodeo. Almost every week we're working with or encountering a consultation with someone who was detained at the airport, including green card holders or green card holders who we're helping to fight deportation. Guys, what's happening now, however, is everyone is hyper focused on immigration. But for us immigration lawyers, and those of you out there watching who practice immigration law, you know that this is a lot of what we're hearing is not new. Some things are new as far as speech is concerned, freedom of speech issues. Those things are new, obviously. And Mark Rubio's position on other issues are new. But for the most part, green card holders being detained for maybe a drug issue related issue or a crime related issue, that's old news for immigration. We deal with that every week through the work that we do. So don't be too alarmed, but just know your rights, green card holders, and know some basic things about your travel in and out. We do VAWA cases. Yes, we do VAWA cases. You can book a consultation to start to discuss with us about that. All right. But for now, guys, just know that this information, you should share it. Share this information. I'm going to jump off. Okay. I'm going to jump off. I know there are a lot of you watching on YouTube right now. Please watch the replay to get the rundown of what I've shared about this CHNV parole process that is ending with just a very short notice that the government is giving individuals. Expedited removal is a very just expedited removal is something that we know that we're going to be fighting in our legal work. Okay, we're already gearing up to tackle some of those, particularly for individuals who could potentially be caught up in this expedited removal process, who they're already in removal. Okay, or if their due process rights are being cut off, we're preparing to represent and defend those individuals in those types of circumstances. So very important that you know your rights, and this expedited removal process here, they're expanding it. They're expanding it to this 2 years cap point. And obviously, litigation is something that is trailing this administration on every front. So this is another thing that we're expecting litigation to really center around. In addition to the fact that it's such short notice, 1 month, get your affairs in order and leave the United States. Otherwise, we're going to come and get you. That's the message that tomorrow's notice is sending. But I wanted you guys to know the clear facts before you see that and know what's going on. Also, guys, you should speak one-on-one with an attorney about potential next steps if you're caught up in what's happening with the CHNV parole process terminating tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. Thanks so much for being with me tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.